And this is why I hate people. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk and do everything pinball. So if that sounds interesting to you, then hit that subscribe button down below. I really don't even know where to begin on this. I don't even have a bullet point script to go by. I'm just going to wing this, and this could be a drastic mistake on my part, but I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do this thing. It seems like no matter what you do these days, good or bad, you're going to offend somebody. So let's go over this. Now, chances are a majority of you that watch my content are more than likely fans or listen to Kaneda Pinball Podcast content. And the reason I think that is because he and I do not have any strings on us. We are not attached to a certain company, business, or not a distributor. We don't make money off of promoting any kind of manufacturer or business or anything. So what we say is how we feel, and we don't care if it offends you or not. And I think the reason behind that is because this is optional for you to watch my content. It was optional for you to listen to Kaneda's content. It's an option. If you don't like our content, then you don't have to watch or listen to it. That's the glory of us having free will. That is the glory of that, is that I am not forcing you to watch this. He's not forcing you to listen. This is all your decision to watch or listen. Of course, my damn dogs want to come in here because I'm doing this. So now they want to come in here. Go away! Anyways, Kaneda put out an episode today that was his last. Episode 499 is his last pinball podcast. And from what he tells us, that is his last, public thing to do with pinball. He's out. And the reasoning behind that, I'll let him tell the story himself on his just most recent post here on Facebook. It says, "Dear fans, you are all the best. Unfortunately, I have to step away from the podcast scene. This decision was actually a very easy one to make. A few people decided to go after my employer with accusations about me. My employer is amazing and fully supports me, but they do not deserve to be dragged into any pinball-related issues. I love my job, and I love my friends at work, and I love what I do for a living. I worked way too hard to get where I am just to have people within the pinball space try and undermine my reputation and hard work. The current climate is not one I wish to cause any additional headaches for my company. They have enough on their plate right now, as I'm sure you can imagine. I do not know specifically who did this. No, it was not Uric, so please don't hurt him. Nothing I have said or done on my show justifies this behavior. Unfortunately, this is the world that we live in today. A few determined cowards can ruin it for everyone else. Also, please don't blame the liberals for this. That's just weird. Wear a mask. A few things to remember. I am not dead. That rest in peace pinside thread gave me a chuckle. Oktoberfest is still the worst theme ever. I need a break, so if I don't respond to you right now, it's not personal. Be good to each other. Love, Kaneda, Brenda, and Bubba." Also included on there, just to make sure I get that in the shot, was a picture of him and Bubba, a thank you, as well as the microphone that he uses and his headphones. So, yeah, that is what is going on in the pinball area. Now, I know that there's obviously not a lot of you that listen to pinball podcasts, so this really isn't going to affect you probably at all. So, it is what it is, but a lot of us out there listen to Kaneda because of the content that he gave us. Now, typically, and trust me, I've listened to a lot of pinball podcasts, and I didn't start listening to podcasts in general till maybe 2-3 years ago, if that. And it's one of those where I'll listen to an episode or two, see if the personalities of the people that are on them coincide with just me being able to tolerate them and listen to them and like how they speak and whatever can go on and on. Basically, I listen to podcasts an episode or two to see if I would continue to listen to them. And over the course of these years, I have followed many podcasts, and a lot of the podcasts that I used to follow no longer exist. We've lost Slap Save, which was a big hit because I really enjoyed listening to his voice mainly. I still give him some shit about that because I really miss hearing his voice on the airwaves, and just the way he articulated his words was very, very, I don't know, I enjoyed it. So then we have Special When Lit. Special When Lit is no longer there because they were going to do the Pinball Network, and they basically stepped away from Special When Lit and went onto the Pinball Network, and then Ken Cromwell went off to do JJP stuff, and now he's doing JJP Pinball Podcast. It goes off into a whole spectrum of spiderweb storylines and drama that a lot of you probably don't even care about or follow. But the point of this is that a majority of the people that I listen to, a lot of them had the same thoughts and feelings towards games as they were coming out. And I didn't like that. Me personally, I like to get information and people's opinions and thoughts from multiple areas. I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I personally don't like that. I like hearing information and opinions from multiple angles so that way I can make up my own mind on how I feel about it. If you surround yourself in an echo chamber, that is not good. And that was one thing, and I honestly didn't even start listening to Kaneda until Elvira House of Horrors was releasing and coming out, and we got all the information about that, because that game came out, and as per usual, all the podcasts and other media outlets and stuff like that were talking this game up and how, you know, nothing wrong with the price and all this stuff and junk, and I was sitting there going, no, am I really the only one that doesn't agree with this? Am I really that person that's just like completely doesn't understand why people are talking the way they are about this particular game? And that is when I actually, before I even started listening to Kaneda, I contacted my friends in this community, and some of those people were podcasters, and asked them about Kaneda. So, hey, so what's the big deal? Because as of this time, and still to this day, you know, it seemed like he had a negative vibe to him. Like it was just like he was not a good person or whatever. And that was a lot of the feedback that I got, was that he was just, you know, bad for pinball. And I'm like, all right, cool. I wanted to get everybody's opinion, but I still wanted to make my own decision. So I started listening to him. And lo and behold, the first episode I listened to is him going on his lovely rant and thoughts and opinions on Stern's announcement for Elvira. And that was when I was like, I like this guy. And that was because he was different. He gave the opinions and feelings that I sometimes felt about what was going on in the industry. And people thought that, you know, he doesn't care about pinball and stuff like that, but I think he's one of those that probably cared more than a lot of you do. Because, and even like he states, even in his most recent podcast and many podcasts before that, not everything in this hobby and not everything that comes out towards us customers is good. Not everything should be praised and worshipped that is brought to us. We should not just accept what is given to us. That is one of the reasons why I kept listening to him, because I'm like, good. He gives me the other side of the spectrum that a lot of other content creators are not going to give you, because they don't want to have the other manufacturers and stuff like that they've made friends with. They don't want to make them mad. They don't want to cause any kind of rift. And that was what I liked. It was the fact that, and I gave him stuff, I gave him crap about this when we started talking back around that time. I was like, well, hey, just want to let you know that I enjoy your content. I mean, and then we started going back and forth about Elvira and how we felt about it. And then over the course of months, we became friends. And we've been shooting messages back and forth to each other and stuff ever since then. So it's not like we're in a long-term friendship or anything, guys. But it was one of those where when something was brought out, we were immediately just going back and forth about how we felt about it and how we didn't like it or we did like it. And that was one thing that I enjoyed listening to about his show, was hearing, honesty, no smoke being blown. And it was just good to hear that. And I don't think we're going to have another content creator that will be like him. I mean, I'll be close to that because I have no strings to hold me down either. I mean, if I piss people off, I piss people off. But all I'm doing is giving my opinions just like he did and how I feel about things. And if you like it, you don't. And if you do, you do. I mean, it's whatever. To each their own. But here's the glory of it, guys. If you do not like what someone is saying, don't listen to them. Go on about your life and enjoy your life. Just because someone is talking smack about a particular pinball company or whatever, I don't know what goes through your head to go, you know what? I don't agree with this person's saying. I'm going to attempt to ruin their life. I do not understand that mentality. This whole cancel culture thing, I don't get it. This is where I'm just like, really? I mean, people have that such strong emotions about something that they feel that they need to justify those emotions by essentially throwing a little tantrum. And it's a win for them if they get their way. It's like this mentality that people have this whole thing about freedom of speech, freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want and you can say whatever you want. Now, of course, if you start saying things that this person doesn't agree with, then their attitude changes from say whatever you want to shut the fuck up. That's what that turns into. It's all about freedom of speech and you can say whatever you want unless you disagree with them, then you need to shut the fuck up. That's what that mentality is. I don't get it. It's like, not everybody can and not everyone should think and feel the same way. Whenever those of you out there watch my content, I would hope that whenever you do watch my content, you don't already have an opinion and you're praying or hoping that my opinion comes out, or you don't hope that your opinion comes out of my mouth. Everyone has their own mind. Everyone can make their own decisions. I have never told people what they should or should not do with their money, nor do I expect you to do the same for me. It's like I feel people should enjoy being different. But it's almost as if you're a black sheep, then you're essentially definitely treated like one, shunned. And then, like I said, I had no script. I didn't know where I was going with this. I just feel like I need to vent a little bit. The thing is with a lot of you out there, and I say you, and I don't, a lot of individuals out there that feel that they can just say all the negative energy that they can about others on forums or any other kind of format. The thing is, a lot of those people are hiding behind an avatar and a name that they've given themselves on a freaking thread. The power of anonymity. just to be able to say and do whatever because no one knows who you really are. There you go. And this is something that even, Kaneda has brought up before in the past, and I totally agree with it because I've brought it up to him as well, is that a lot of these people say what they say because there's no repercussions for their actions or their words. Whereas those of us, like myself, I don't hide behind anything. My name is out here. It's who I am. I say what I say. So who's more powerful here? The people that are out as who they are in front of a camera, or those of you that hide behind anonymity and then try to ruin others' lives because they say things that you don't agree with? How powerful do you feel? I think it's pretty cowardly. It's pretty shitty. But the main reason behind this video is my thoughts and reasoning behind why we needed Kaneda in this hobby. And that was to get the other side of the spectrum, guys. We needed somebody else to be able to voice their opinion, to bring knowledge to those of us that are blinded by other content creators that talk nothing but lollipops and gumdrops about this hobby. We needed to have the dark horse. I mean, a lot of people criticize him and say he's the all kinds of bad things for pinball, but I looked at him and I've even told him multiple times that he's the Howard Stern for pinball, because everyone just wanted to hear what he was going to say next. Did I agree with everything that he's ever said? No. That's the glory of it, that I listen to multiple outlets and I make up my own mind. But it was nice to have someone else on the airwaves to put out opinions that did not coincide with every other podcast or content creator that is currently on the market right now. It's like, why? You need variety. You need different opinions, good or bad, whatever. But my main point is that it was nice to have both sides of a spectrum for this hobby, whereas I feel like that we just, essentially lost a good portion of the spectrum that you're only going to get essentially from people like me, where I just tell you how it is, how I feel. I'm not being bought, sponsored, or anything like that. Chances are I'm probably never going to have a sponsor because I'm not brand safe, but it is what it is. I've even had people refuse to give me products because they, I guess, probably assume that I'm going to, talk bad about it. There was even a time when I was in Chicago and I was given a bunch of hardware for pinball to do videos on and reviews and everything. And then I ran into the person that actually made these products and told him, like, yeah, just so you know, I've got all these items and everything, and I was going to do some videos on them. And he requested them back. I was like, all right, yeah, I mean, I didn't pay any money for them, so yeah, sure. I mean, so that's the way I look at it. And the thing is, I'm only going to promote products and stuff like that if I actually do believe they are good. And if they're bad, I'll tell you they're bad. So if it's one thing that if someone gives me a product and wants me to do a review, that is one thing I definitely specify to them, is that, look, if it's bad, I'm going to say it's bad. If it's good, then I'm definitely going to tell people it's good and I'll promote it. But if it's not good, well, I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not. I'm sorry. I have a little bit more integrity than that. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't lie to you guys because I don't want to have to remember. I got too much other shit going on in my life to remember what I said about a particular machine, what I said about a particular product. No, I don't want to have to remember how I feel about it. The only thing I want to remember is like how I actually felt about something or how I actually feel about something. I'm not going to fucking lie. I'm not going to blow smoke or anything like that. I really don't know what else I need to mention about this. We'll see where it goes with comments and feedback that I get on this. It's typical for a lot of people. If I mention Kaneda at all, then the downvotes go up. But you know what? It is what it is. I really don't know what else to say. Kind of wish I would have wrote some stuff down, but I felt like I needed to get this out while it was sort of fresh on my mind so I can get back to working on other stuff. It's the glorious thing about life, guys, is free will. If you don't like something, don't buy it. If you don't like what you hear from a podcast, don't listen to it. If you don't like certain content that you view on YouTube, don't watch it. That's all there is to it, guys. I mean, what sucks most, I think, is just like the episode before this one is him trying to bring more peace into this hobby among certain individuals, trying to get people to come together, to bury the hatchet, end all the stupid drama. From someone that's very controversial and people think so negatively of, he was wanting everyone to be at peace and just enjoy pinball for what it is. And then you have the people out there that get their rocks off on trying to ruin someone's life because they don't agree with what they have to say. And that is what it is. I don't know if I'll even post a video, honestly, on this. I just felt like I just needed to vent. But I don't know. We'll see during the editing process if I even feel like releasing this. But if you like what you've seen here, then yeah, give me that thumbs up and subscribe if you want to. Or not, whatever. But until next time, guys, peace out.